Good morning. Good morning, everybody. This is Scuffed. Hope your morning's going well. Thank you for coming to the podcast here. We're going to talk about Wrestle Kingdom 17, Night 2 in Yokohama. Tons of wrestling here. I'm a bit late on this. This took place about a week ago from when this should upload. And this took place about a week ago, and I was busy. Like we all get busy in this wonderful post-industrial life of ours. This has been it's been a busy week, been really busy, but I'm excited, very excited. Wanted to cover this, and then the day I'm recording this is actually Royal Rumble, so we'll be also posting that. But we're gonna jump in here, man. I don't want to waste too much time. I feel like I preamble a lot on these things. So Wrestle Kingdom Night 2, we're gonna talk about the prelims first. We're gonna open up and talk about some prelims. And it's funny because the only time I will cover prelims will probably be New Japan events, because I don't have the love for other federations like I do New Japan. So yeah, the prelims here, we had Kosei, Fujita, and Ryohei, Oiwa. So our boy Oiwa again, we're talking him up on the New Japan Night 1 because he's a lot of fun to watch. And they had the win over Ozawa and Yano. That's Yasutaka, I believe, Yano. So not Toru Yano, but this is a fun tag team match between some young lions with the Warring Feds, and we got a submission victory. It was the Boston Crab. Carlton and Kelly were talking up the hands clamping of this all, and this was very, very enjoyable. But fun tag team prelim match to open up everything. I had weird expectations coming into this. We'll talk up that a little bit later, but not coming into this match, but coming into this event, and it was interesting. It was interesting because I thought Wrestle Kingdom Night 1 was a little bit underperforming for most of the card, except for the last three matches that were incredible. But this was a Young Lions match that went longer than some of the cards on the main match card, and this was so much fun. New Japan just does this stuff so well, man. They play to their archetypes. They play to the staple stuff they do in wrestling, and it is sick, and this was sick. So big time win for the New Japan Young Lions, Fujita and Oiwa. Again, Oiwa just looks so much like he belongs. And again, I really enjoyed the Boston Crab turning it over and getting the W. Again, him and Oleg Bolton, who we will see in the next prelim match, went to a draw in Night 1 of Wrestle Kingdom. For those of you that watch the prelims, I feel like that's not a lot, but that's okay. I still like to cover them because I take interest in the Young Lions a lot. The next match we had was Kitamiya, and we had Daiki Inaba versus Ishii, and then Oskar Leube. Leube is this big-ass dude, man. I loved having him around. He kind of looks the part, too. Real big, beefy-looking dude. And him and Ishii took the loss to Masa, Kitamiya, and Daiki. Another fun match. This was two big men slapping meat, if you know that Big E reference. So we had two real beefy dudes in Ishii, and I believe it was Kitamiya in the opening of this match were just shoulder busting each other, man. They were just throwing shoulders. They're just throwing their chests out. A lot of fun. Another fun tag team match. This goes a little long. I mean, this is about 10 minutes, and it was fun. I mean, it was fun to see Oleg, pop up. He definitely looks a little green. I think at one point he hits the ropes and he just decides to do nothing. Like he hits the ropes and stomps out Inaba, which is funny because he doesn't, not like a big splash or a cover or a senton, just stomps him out. Just stops his sprint to put some boots to some skin. It's funny. But he's slamming Inaba, he's slamming Kitamiya. He's getting his shit in, and he looks great doing it. So excited to see more of Oskar Leube. Is it Leube? It might be Leube. I hate saying Leube. That gives his name and his impression a bit worse than it should, because he's a hell of a looking dude. Might want to change that last name, but yeah, this was enjoyable for what it was. And I mean, really enjoyable too, because the Young Lions had all the energy in the world to go 12 minutes, and then this match comes on and it just kind of keeps it. It's not losing you. It's Ishii and Kitamiya really want to get going here. They're just gonna start hitting each other real mean. So this kind of keeps your attention for sure. But those were our two prelim matches. Nothing crazy to love or hate in these, but if you're like me and you're just a really big New Japan fan, then you enjoy these. You enjoy these every event. You kind of live for them. Honestly, I live for shit like this. I really do, because it's just so simple and entertaining and fun. It's like it's like watching a YouTube short, you know what I mean? Like or a TikTok for those of you that are on the TikTok-y. It's like watching a little clip, like a little Caleb City or already SeaWorld video or something. It's just enjoyable. It's fucking cat videos, man. I love shit like this. But those were our prelim matches. We then transitioned into the main card. Before the main card kicks, there was a tribute to Jay Briscoe. Very, 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 very sweet. I haven't really put any tribute stuff out for Callis, Don Callis. For those of you who don't remember, he was a commentator with Impact. I find that people don't remember him as much, which is pretty interesting. But unfortunately, he has or no. What am I saying? Not Don Callis. Why? Oh my God! Why is my brain failing me? Not Don Callis. Oh my God, that's Kenny Omega's manager, not Don Callis. Fucking this is gonna stay in because this is so funny. Not Don Callis did not die. What the fuck? Oh my goodness, not Don Callis. Oh my goodness, why is it escaping me? Don West. Oh my fucking God, Don West. Jesus Christ. Not Don Callis. Holy crap. I hope everybody's laughing. And that's probably a bit disrespectful, but also a bit funny, because Don West brought a lot of entertainment to every time he was out there with Mike Tenay and Impact. Jesus Christ. I could not for the life of me remember his name. God, somebody get Don Callis out of my brain, dude. I'm not even that big of a Kenny mark or anything crazy. Good gracious. But yes, so, I haven't put anything out for either of them, because I think both of them, and now mixing up West with Callis, I seem like such an asshole or a poser, but I feel as though maybe they need, wiser, more better words than what a person saying more better can give. So, very sad to see those guys pass. Very sad to see what happened with Jay. Everything around it, super tragic, but, yeah, it's very upset. I think if anybody catches Joseph Monticello, I believe, his YouTube videos, he does a lot of wrestling review stuff. You should totally check him out. He had a good bit of stuff to kind of relay, but I mean, what else can we say, man? Great, one of the greatest tag teams of all time. I think for some, the greatest tag team of all time. A body of work that he's only 38 when he passed. I mean, good gracious, there's not much else to say, but a very beautiful, very, very beautiful honoring of him by New Japan. Everybody coming out, and the 10 bell count had a picture of him out there. Very, very beautiful telling of a passing of a true great, and in everything, great in personality, great in the ring, and all of that good stuff. But that was before we got to our first main card match to honor him and his legacy. But moving on from that, we had our 8-man tag here. Tanahashi with Sugiura and Toru Yano versus with Satoshi Kojima, my goodness, versus Marafuji. We had Marafuji in this with Bullet Clubs. The Bullet Club representatives for this were Phantasmo, Kenta Marafuji, former tag team buds, out there in Noah. Long ass tag team reign along with them. I think it was 600 plus days or some shit. I'm sure Carlton mentioned the exact number because he's a nerd, but yeah, crazy good tag team, with the history tag team at least, among Kenta and Marafuji. And also Gato. Gato was working here, so that was pretty fun. The whole story of this basically is the Bullet Club guys are trying to get him to do the too sweet, right? And they're trying to get him to get in all this shenanigans. I think El Phantasma's trying to get him to wear a t-shirt to the ring. And Marafuji's just like, yeah, fuck this. You guys are assholes. I'm not partnering. I'm partnered with the fucking Gaijins. And I mean, it's obviously Gato and Kenta, but like El Phantasma's here, and he's just not buying it. And he's not selling any of the shenanigans, or he's not getting into any of the tag stuff. But the real meat of this match is when Tanahashi gets in with Kenta. These two start fucking killing each other, and I love it. And they're slated for a match here at around New Beginnings, I believe. And these two, I mean, they have history already with Kenta's introduction in New Japan. But my goodness, Kenta and Tanahashi just fucking wail on each other, man. They do this like they're not the main card opener. Like, holy shit. And they just start throwing forearms. And then we don't get too much Yano here. And we know Yano and Marafuji have some history as well. And I think Carlton and Kelly talked this up really well. But the finish ends up being Kenta, El Phantasma, and Marafuji are all in the ring. I think tagging himself in is... No, I think it's Gato. I think Gato tags himself in, tagging out Marafuji, who's doing some tag team work with Kenta. Marafuji's like, what the fuck? Yano's down. They're all trying to do the two sweet together. Gato's trying to get Marafuji to do it. And while they're doing that, and Marafuji, by the way, does a fucking incredible job of the whole time acting like he can't make the two sweet. And it's hilarious. And I know he's got some tape on his fingers, so I don't know if he's like working an injury or not, but I don't believe that's the case. I think it's just very much that Marafuji is like, how the fuck do I make that hand thing? It's kind of like if any of you have ever tried to separate your fingers, like your index and your middle finger from your ring finger and your pinky finger. It's like he's like a child, and he's like, how the fuck do I do that? And he keeps trying to do the two sweep, but he like really can't. And look, take this however you want. It's fucking hilarious. It's just funny because you see Marafuji look at his hands and then look to them doing the two sweet, and he's trying to make it, and he's like, how the fuck do I do that? This shit is hilarious. It is so fucking funny. And I don't know. I'm a sucker for shit like this. I think this is comedy wrestling. Like, I didn't like the Knoxville stuff at WrestleMania because I thought it was stupid, but this shit makes me laugh. So I was all about it. And they're all trying to do this while Yano's down selling, but then Yano throws Gato into Kenta, and then throws Marafuji aside into the ref a little bit, and Marafuji's kind of like, what the fuck, and he's not live. And then Yano low blows both Kenta and Gato through each other because they're kind of like hugging each other a bit because they got thrown into each other, and the ref is blindsided. So then Yano rolls over Gato, 1, 2, 3. Kenta's selling his balls, and Marafuji at the last second like turns around like, what the fuck just happened? And it's a 3 count, and he's like, LOL. So very, very funny shit. Very, very funny shit. I enjoyed a lot of this. And then I enjoy this stuff. If you watch this and you were like, oh, this is a shits match, I understand, but I enjoy a lot of this shit. And we got to see Kojima too, and I love seeing Kojima and how ripped he is, and all the pecs swelling, and Gato chopping the shit out of Kojima for a bit, and then Kojima being like, all right, fuck you, I'm gonna beat your chest in. This is very fun. And Sugiura's running around in this match jacked as shit, looking fucking scary sexy. What a menacing guy just to have running around. Him next to Tanahashi is just fucking literally, you could build a house out of 2 other guys with that because you'll have enough corners. Terrifying. Then you get a guy like Gato and you stretch him out to be your ceiling. But that was our first match on the main card, and then we get into a singles match here, and this was pretty sick. I said our next match is El Desperado versus Ryohei, and I'd said that this match could very well be like a show stealer, and damn it if they couldn't just get a little more time, because this is a lot of fun. Ryohei's coming out, big Jeff Hardy kind of shtick and influence with the hair, and great theme song coming out. And Ryohei's looking to jockey for a win, but he's not really on the totem pole of Desperado, and we know how incredible Desperado is. And Desperado looks great here too, man. He's just looked really good last few years. He's looking cut. He's looking scary. And that man is kind of excited, and Ryohei's excited. There's a lot of energy, and these guys are going back and forth, and it's just a lot of fun. And they just really worked to a really good finish. Or a really, really good finish. And then Desperado has his submission hold on, and Ryohei's in there selling, and Desperado taps him out. 10 minutes, about 11 minutes. A lot of cool shit here. Traded some spots outside. Desperado's kind of leaning the whole time, but not necessarily. But yeah, this was good shit. I really enjoyed Desperado, and this, Ryohei. I haven't seen a lot. I'm familiar with him in passing. This isn't the first match I've seen, but good stuff. And this is the type of undercard match. The first two that I felt night one didn't really have, and I really stand by the fact that I think night two was a good bit, not like a lot better, but significantly better, especially on the undercard, specifically on the undercard, I should say. Because, I mean, you had like the Antonio Inoki Memorial 6-man tag, and it was a fun old man's tag, but then, the IWGP Juniors tag was really whatever, and then Kairi Tam Nakano just didn't really go at all, anytime, less than 7 minutes. And then you had the awkward Sasha Banks stuff that was weird. It just, there's a lot of stuff that didn't really pick up, and the Tonga Carl Anderson match was enjoyable, but just maybe not to where this match was, at least I feel. And this type of juniors match to go second after the tag team match, where I thought that this might be just a little later down the card, was a very great surprise, and I appreciated this a lot. All right, so next we had our 6-man tag team match, the second and last of the night. This was Alejandro. We had Junta Miyawaki, and we had Amakusa. Amakusa was great. I'm just going to say that before we even read off the other participants, because that dude is incredible. And spoiler, and your spoiler warning is the title card, as well as that I'm talking about every match. This is a man we're going to see wrestle Takahashi at the next event in against Noah next month on the 21st. So very excited. This guy is so fucking awesome. If you're not familiar, go watch some of his stuff. But this Noah trio faced off against Master Wato, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Tiger Mask. And I made the joke. I said, well, on one side of the ring we have juniors, and on the other side of the ring we have wrestlers who happen to be in the junior division. And I love Wato and I love Taguchi, and I don't mind Tiger Mask at all. But Alejandro and Junta and Amakusa were just flying. They were moving. They were flying and really, really, really out there. And Wato, I love Wato, by the way. Wato gets some weird recognition. Again, the Western fans oftentimes are very weird. They're not really indicative at all of how the Japanese crowd is feeling, which is the majority of the crowd, and that's where New Japan makes their money. Wato's super over. We saw that at Wrestle Kingdom. We saw that tonight as well. Wato's dope. He's a little awkward at times. I think in these tag team matches, he gets maybe a little lost because maybe his offense isn't always that super exciting. But he's great in the singles action. He was great in the Fatal 4-Way on night one. But Taguchi as well. I love Funky Weapon. I think Funky Weapon's great. The gimmick is his ass, and it's awesome. It's amazing. It's the funniest shit to me. It's like one of the best underneath gimmicks in the world. It's been that. And I love the 6 and 9 tag. I love this tag team. But at the same time, there's a different work rate and there's a different athleticism. And you see a team of juniors that are just fucking flying. And then you have Tiger Mask. And Tiger Mask is he's like Ric Flair in 06, 07. Like he's just out there. And this the craziest part is that nothing here is bad. Nothing here is bad at all. Nothing here is too crazy. Nothing here is terrible. Nothing here is awful. This is dope. This is enjoyable. Like you should be able to watch this, and this is enjoyable, and it doesn't overstay its time. This match is like the shortest on the card, quote unquote, because we'll get into it, but this is the shortest match on the card, and it doesn't even feel that way, but it also it doesn't feel long. This doesn't go long at all. You basically just get to see Amakusa go fucking ballistic on Tiger Mask at the end. He's super athletic. That guy is a natural athlete. He is flying. Great shit here to watch. And my goodness, I hope Tiger Mask stops. Does not have to work these guys again, because Not, I mean, and then again, a criticism here is that it looks a little awkward, but also I think Tiger Mask at the end of the match is taking like flying shit from Amaxa, and he's taking like drop kicks, and I'm sitting here like, good gracious, this is terrifying. I don't want him to die, so please, 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 let's not let's not put him next to the fucking juniors. Let's let's keep him in the Antonio Inoki Memorial matches and the old man matches. My goodness, but yeah, after this, we had a match. But again, like I said, that this wasn't the shortest match of the night. We had Okada and Makabe versus Kaito, Kiyomiya, and Yoshiaki Inamura. And this ends in a no contest. And this is probably like the biggest thing of the night. What a wonderful, wonderful match this was. So basically, these guys get in their shit. There's a bit of intensity on the start of this match. Okada has a hold on Inamura. He's got the chin lock. And very early in the match, Kiyomiya comes in and he starts kicking Okada in his neck. And he's kicking it and kicking it and kicking it. And Okada's like, all right, fuck you. I'm not going to sell. And then Kaito wounds up a nasty fucking kick to the head. And Okada's bleeding from it. And he doesn't bleed here. He's got a little cut, a little blemish, and he's bleeding from it. And it is a nasty fucking head kick. And this is disgusting shit. And they just brawl. And this is beautifully well done. This subverts expectation. The subversion here in storytelling is fucking phenomenal. This is ridiculous. This is some of the best booking you're gonna see all year. Anywhere. Kaito, this isn't just like a swerve bro moment. Kaito takes a shot at Okada, and all of this seems very natural, and it just fucking explodes into one of the best brawls you're gonna see. We see brawls all the time, too fucking often. I mean, if you want to be very honest, even at the end of a prelim match tonight, we saw brawling to the back with Ishii trying to fight off the Noah tag team of Kitamiya and Daiki. And if you want to be honest, that's a bit of a brawl, but it's a bit more of a scrap. I mean, I think that it's a bit more old man's fighting to the back a little bit, and none of those three guys are old by means when I say that in the context when I talk about, Tiger Mask and shit. But you get what I mean. It's a bit of a scrap. It's a bit of a scrum. They do some of this stuff often after post matches of New Japan, if you're any familiar or initiated with the product. But this was a fucking brawl, and you see brawls all the time on Western TV. Too many brawls all the time. On WWE, you'll see a brawl on SmackDown, then a brawl on Dynamite, then a brawl on NXT, then a brawl on Raw, and that in that order, you will see a brawl all the time, constantly. And too many brawls happen on TV, and they're used so much, and they don't mean as much. They don't feel off. They don't feel like a real component of the storytelling. They kind of feel like a trope. This was not. Nothing is telling you we're gonna see a brawl tonight. Nothing is sparking that. Nothing is telegraphed. There's no promo in the ring and then the music hits and somebody comes out like you've seen a million times. Kaito comes into the ring and he tries to break up a hold, and then he just fucking stiffs the shit out of Okada. And now we have a brawl. Now Okada's hot, and now Kaito's hot. And these guys don't like. This is naturally developed. This is beautifully well done. This is incredible. And it's one of the best brawls you're going to fucking see. And they're beating the shit out of each other. And Kevin Kelly's calling for the ref to go just signal the bell. Like, this is a wash at this point. You got to call this. We're not getting anywhere. My God, this shit was lit. And then Kaito's grabbing the mic, telling Okada that he's too scared. And then Okada's coming back to whip his ass. This is great. This is great. Holy shit, what a subversion of what you thought you were going to see. You thought you were going to see a normal tag team match here tonight. There was no promise we were getting another Noah event. And now they've just sold you a main event match of Okada and Kaito, the two champions. Now you just got sold that immediately. And this is great. I mean, this was better than most of the matches on night one of Wrestle Kingdom, I'd argue. this was great for a company that's not going to be doing your sports entertainment rigmarole, or maybe a more entertainment focused federation. And I don't mean that to put down what the WWE does or what AEW may do, or what more entertainment focused wrestlings do. I mean, for fuck's sake, I just watched Hard to Kill on Impact, so it's not to put that down. But New Japan does not do shit like this, and to do something like this fucking wildly well. Yeah, this was crack. If you're a wrestling fan, this was crack. This was so well done, and I appreciate shit like this. Shit like this makes my dick wet. This is great. I'm amped. I was already excited to watch this card because I know the level of talent that's on this card and the matches you're gonna see. But now I'm over the moon to see Kaito Okada. Very, very excited. Very, very excited. But that kind of ends one half of this main card, and then the next half are all of the LIJ versus Congo matches. So we'll talk those through here in a minute. Alrighty. So I don't know what the discourse was. Is we're gonna talk about Tadasuke and Bushi, not Ibushi, but Bushi. And we're going to talk this through, but I don't really know what the expectations were. And if you have any thoughts, please, put them in the comments. Because I really was not initiated to what the expectations were for how these factions were going to split this rivalry. Kevin Kelly and Carlton kept talking up sweep, and we got to 1-1 to 2-1. Didn't know where you would go from there. But yeah, I thought that Bushi would have won this because I thought that they would have maybe had. I thought they would have went a different direction than where they went tonight, but that could just be me, of course. But they had Tadasuke beat Bushi. This match was a lot of fun, and all of the matches here get better and better and better as we go. This match didn't get as much time as some of other matches on the card, but they didn't need it. And Bushi and Tadasuke play this really, really well. Tadasuke works in a sense that he's kind of a bit of a showman here, and he's being a bit cheeky, and he's definitely wrestling a little bit more blue style than green style, as Carlton and Kelly were talking up. And Bushi's all for it, and they're trading spots along the way. And the finish to this was nice with the mist and then the roll through and then the Bushi roll out of the standard back roll from Bushi. And Tadasuke kind of rolls through that and then by feel sticks the head of Bushi underneath and then has him in a cradle, or a crucifix rather, not just a cradle, but a crucifix, and pins him for the 3. So it was nice for them to work the mist gimmick there at the end. These guys, again, enjoyable match. Nothing too memorable out of this, I'd feel, from like a spot to spot sense, but these guys just work a pretty decent match, and I think that I was really invested into this, but coming out of it, I don't have a lot of thoughts or emotions out of it. I thought the finish was great. It didn't have to be 1, 2, 3 matches over, and that was good, especially for what you're gonna see in kind of the escalation of the card. It was good to kind of get away from that finish, and coming out of the match that ended up being a brawl and a no contest, it was kind of good because you subtly got away from the traditional, how do you end a match? Well, 1, 2, 3 finisher. So that was nice without ever having to make anyone feel crummy or awkward about it. So that was kind of nice to see this go down. But Tadasuke and Bushi had a really entertaining match, and picks up a bit more towards the end when they're working those finishes a bit more. But enjoyable. Very, very enjoyable. Next match on the card after this, Noah, or I guess at this point it's not Noah versus New Japan, it's Congo over LIJ with a 1-0 out of that. We get to Hiromu Takahashi and Hajime Ohara. This was great. This was really great. Takahashi's like clay. He might not be the best individual guy in any match, or even the matches he comes into. Like I don't think he came into this the better sort of mechanical in ring guy, but he's like clay, and he just does great shit with whoever he gets thrown in there with. And then Hajime and Hiromu have a really good match. This only went 13 minutes. This did not feel like it only went 13 minutes. Hajime is so great mechanically. He is wrapping up Takahashi. He does a lot of really pretty holds and slick maneuvers within the ring to get Takahashi wrapped up and into his clutches, different holes that he'll go through, catches him off of the ropes some of these times. Other times he's able to just pick a leg from Takahashi and take advantage there. You kind of get the feeling that this is a bigger deal for Hajime than it is for Takahashi, and I think that's well represented by the commentary, and I think that's fair. Takahashi doesn't take the lead in this match, though. It's a big deal for Hajime. Hajime's taking the lead, and then you see this sick-ass bump where Takahashi is sprinting down the apron and goes for a drop kick, and he is unfortunately not able to land that drop kick, and he lands back first on the floor, and that is sickening. Hajime fucking going through his opponent now. He's working the back over and over onto Takahashi. Takahashi is selling his back consistently, and these guys are just going toe for toe, and Hajime seems like he might even maybe steal a victory here, but Time Bomb does what Time Bomb does, and he ends up just, taking this victory out from Hajime in a real, unceremonious fashion a bit, but not necessarily. I love the punching above the weight kind of feel that Ohara has. He's very decorated as a wrestler, but it does feel as though this is a bit of a wash and that they were going to have Takahashi win. I actually thought they were going to subvert and have Ohara win coming into this. Maybe that's me just being a weirdo and being wrong. And I know Takahashi is one of the more protected guys. They give him so many crowning moments as well at Kingdom. But I thought that was all the more reason to make Kongo go up 2-0 and then drop back 3-0. But and drop 3-2. And they dropped 3-2 anyway. But I thought this was a real interesting way to do it, and a real, like, what's the word? Declarative feel of LIJ winning over Kongo and kind of putting this whole ordeal to bed, because you knew that there wasn't going to be too much more life out of this whole deal. But very fun match. Hajime and Amakusa are two really, really, really talented juniors, and Ryohei as well is a very talented junior. And I think to this point, the juniors were studs all throughout the card, with Desperado and Amakusa, and now with the Bushi Tadasuke match, and then Takahashi, Ohara. All of the juniors to this point were really performing, and better after better. I mean, Ryohei Desperado was a very great surprise, and then Tadasuke Bushi is a better match, and then Takahashi Ohara is a much better match. And that envelope is carried through with the heavyweights as we get to our next matchup here. So back with heavyweight action, it is Sanada versus Manabu Soya. Soya is a heap. Sorry, I'm spamming. Yeah, he's a fucking meaty looking dude, and he looks mean as shit. He's got the red hair. Sanada and Manabu were former tag partners way back in the day, and I believe it was in AJPW, was referenced by Carlton. These two, again, if it was 14 minutes, it felt longer, but that wasn't a bad thing. These guys are great. Sanada is awesome. I'm going to go on a tangent here. And I talked about the Western fans being plugged in a different sense than sort of the Japanese fans. But Sanada is awesome. Premier athlete. Has a great look. Really, really great look. Super over. Crowd is going nuts for him. Sanada. Big chance. Crowd fucking loves him. People could talk about what Shingo was brought in to replace Sanada. I mean, Shingo's over his shit too. All of LIJ is. The fans love them all. But Sanada is such a crazy level talent, and he's really over, and he's crazy good in ring, and he does all this crazy shit. Just perfect timing. What he O'Connor rolls Soya, but instead of going for the stretch Japanese roll, he just sits down on it to hold him. They trade skull end, and he's picked up into the power slam, and he comes back down through it, and then they redo that spot. And the way Sonata's kicking his feet, and he's putting his weight down, it almost looks like he's about to sit down into it again, but Soya just dumps him into a power slam so fucking quickly, so violently. It's just beautiful. It's done so well. Sonata ducking out of the way of shit at the perfect moment where it just looks so crisp, so clean, so sublime. He's a natural. He's a prodigy son out there. I mean, the guy is incredibly talented, and he's so over. Again, let's not talk about anything he needs to do to improve, because the crowd is chanting his fucking name over and over and over. And I think maybe that crowd interaction with the lack of chanting and all maybe diminished that for some, but this dude is awesome. Sonata is great. This match was great. I love the fucking finish. They take you on a little roller coaster, and they're working that bomber spot so often. You just kind of you kind of think it's not coming. I think they do a great job of disguising that it's coming because of how they work it. And the big suplex springbuster by Soya, and then another big move, and you get the 2 count, and then Soya hits the bomber, and he just kicks out. Sonata just kicks out immediately, and it's crazy. And Sonata hits the bomber, and then Sonata hits the bomber, and he tries to cover. And again, that athleticism of Sonata, he just, because Soya kicks out, and Sonata just flies off of him. And holy shit, like, this guy is so crazy talented. And he's obviously super over. So I don't even know what the criticism is on this guy. Like, I don't get it. And Sonata pops off, and you just see his eyes pop wide open, and it's just crazy. And then gets the bomber to Soya, and 1, 2, 3. Fucking amazing end to this. The in-between on this was good. Don't get me wrong. The in-between on this was enjoyable. And they work a bit of a slower paced match to open. And the little things they do a great job, because we were just coming off of Hajime and Takahashi, and in that match you saw guys flying a bit, and the juniors were working a bit of a pace with Tedasuke and Bushi as well. So this felt like a heavyweight match. This felt like a Noah match. I'm gonna be honest. This felt more like a Noah match than what Naito Kenoh will feel like. To be quite fair. Same with Nakajima and Takagi, but because of the pipeline of where Shingo comes from. No shit. But this was great, man. This was great. Sonata, unfortunately, is just in an era where guys are better, and there's just other guys that are more over. Tanahashi's still around. Naito and Okada. I mean, Okada's got like Mount Rushmore best wrestler of all time status, like, already. I mean, I don't mean to say already, but like, he's gonna be around for longer, assumably. So yeah, I mean, you just feel as though Sonata in another company in Noah could carry the belt for 2 years if they just decide to put it on. I mean, it would be fitting. And this guy is just so talented. And shout outs to Soya. Soya does his part. Big beefy motherfucker, and he plays it real well. And he's smooth in there as well, along with Sonata. And he's an athlete, and he's got a cool look with the red hair. It's a bit jarring, but I mean, with all these pretty boys like Kaito and Okada with their pretty blonde hair, and Kenoh who's doing his best Tanahashi cosplay, like, you got a big scary motherfucker who looks like he's gonna murder you, and he takes his shirt off, and oh god, that's the body of someone that's gonna murder me. Like, he does such a good job as well playing his role here. I think Sonata is just fucking great, and this match was so good, like very very enjoyable. This match, this is kind of what Wrestle Kingdom was missing night one. If this was Okada, Omega, Sonata, Soya, the Fatal 4-Way Juniors match, and then Naito, Keno, Takagi, Nakajima, if that's what we got, that would have been one of the best Wrestle Kingdoms we've ever seen. Maybe the best ever. And I hate to talk what ifs and do that, but this night too had some real heaters, man. And I felt as though the Takahashi Ohara one and this one especially were really that. But we're not done, because the best match of the night is next. And for better for worse, it's the best match of the night for sure. All right, so again, we have Takagi Nakajima. It's our co-main event of the evening. Nakajima has a 2-0 record over Takagi, and there's big talks about the third match. Of course, Nakajima champion last year and Takagi champion, but loses the belt. They get into a tag match. Nakajima is so game for the blue style and the New Japan work rate here. This feels like a 90s sort of deal, honestly. And the way in which Nakajima and Takagi work each other is real brutal. Sorry, I'm sidetracking here. Real fast, I hate to put this back here, but the Takahashi Hajime match had a crazy good submission spot that was really sick, and Hajime looked like he was inches away from tapping out Takahashi. It was very similar to Desperado Ryohei's finish, which was sick, because if you saw the prelims, you saw 2 submissions there, and then you almost saw a third here. So really, really good shit. Sorry, I did not mean to get so crazy there. I'm so sorry. But back to Shingo Takagi and Katsushika Nakajima. These two were so game to have such a fucking bonkers good match. Nakajima is kicking the shit out of Takagi. There's no wasted energy in those kicks to the chest, and he's prodding, and he's really inciting something out of Takagi to kick it into a next gear. Takagi missing out on that big main card Wrestle Kingdom Night 1. Last year came in as champ, and now he's got all this shit going on with Omega and challenging for Okada's belt and all this other stuff he's doing. And you really needed to see that sort of G1 world champion carrying the belt, Ospreay Takagi come out here, and they work a little slow. Not really, there's good grappling, but they kind of ramp it up, and you see that, you feel that once Takagi gets going, once he gets to his spot. A lot of good shit here. The Into the Dragon finish was great. A lot of the Into the Dragon stuff they try to do is really great. You're here for this, the striking, man. Just to see Nakajima just tear apart Takagi, and to have Takagi work underneath. And I say it all the time. I think Takagi is one of the best wrestlers in the world. I think he's really, really up there with like top 5, maybe best wrestler in the world some nights. The way he's able to work underneath and but still be imposing, like it's pretty bizarre. Like, Takagi's offense isn't boring, and Takagi's offense isn't limited, really. He's able to do a lot and really be imposing and fearful and strong, a wrestler, a babyface. Yet he's able to work underneath, and he doesn't rely on the comeback a lot, right? Like, you think wrestlers like Tanahashi work underneath every match damn near, and they can get a little into it and stiff in the strikes. But Tanahashi's working underneath, and he's roaring a comeback and sling blade and all that. And that's what Tanahashi's doing. Another really great babyface that works from underneath is John Cena, right? John Cena made a career out of the comeback and the three moves of doom, and that's kind of where he was with offense that was very limited, very very limited. Tanahashi's offense not very limited, but just not always on display because it doesn't need to be, because it's not how you work the match. But Takagi goes out there and he works like a junior if he needs to, or he'll work like a hoss and he'll throw lariats if he needs to, and he'll work technical if he needs to. And then it always comes to Takagi getting underneath with a bit of a heel, more of a babyface heel dynamic. And when that comes along, when Takagi's able to dig down and work underneath and make his comeback, it just feels so natural. And the crowd is with it because he's fucking over, and the crowd is screaming up for Shingo, and they're chanting Takagi, and it just works. And it's great. It's the simple babyface wrestling done at such a high level. It's what I appreciate with New Japan. And this is great. I mean, you just get to watch Nakajima go to work. You get to see Takagi pop back and go through it. They throw you through a lot of loops. They have the drop, the suplex with Nakajima, and it's a 2. They work you over with near falls. And they do all of this with less than 20 minutes. They do all of this in less time than Eddie Edwards and fucking Jonathan Gresham. And I hate to come back and harp on that because I talked about it on Hard to Kill, but for fuck's sake, this match only goes 18 minutes. They have a fucking banger in less than 20 minutes. And it just goes to show you can do really cool shit and you don't need to go 20 plus. This was awesome. Best match of the night. Would have been third best the entire Wrestle Kingdoms. This was great. And again, you get to see Takagi at his very best at a very high level. And you get to see a guy like Nakajima who just knows what the fuck's going on. And these guys work well together. It all comes together. Not a lot to talk about with this spot to spot because this is just one of those matches that you get invested in from the get-go. Nakajima's going to kick Takagi's shit in, and you're here to see if Takagi can survive it and get through it. And it's just that they very very fun, simple roller coaster. Take my money, I'm going again. Great fucking time. Very very good match. Again, spot to spot, maybe not a lot to talk through here, but that's okay because it's not about spot to spot. It's about that wave and about that ride that a match can take you on. This does that in a short order that doesn't overstay its welcome and just is so much fun to sit there and watch. Takagi's selling is so good. He just knows how to pop up and how to take offense when he needs to, and all the little things that put together what a babyface that's going to work that underneath and work from underneath does. It's very similar to what Cody Rhodes can do from working underneath, but the problem is oftentimes Cody Rhodes' offense never feels as like rewarding or exciting. Takagi's does, because he's popping up and throwing fucking meaty ass lariats. And he's planting people on their fucking heads. So much different feel. But very good match. Best match on the card, I think. It's not close. I don't think it's close at all. But very, very good shit for this match between Takagi and Nakajima. Next up, we will talk your main event of the evening. Alrighty, folks. We have your main event, Tetsuya Naito versus Keno. Keno is a really good entrance spot here. The entrances are very well played. And there's a lot of time. Of course, with Tetsuya Naito's entrance, there's a lot of time. But Keno's is lengthy as well. Carlton and Kevin Kelly do a good job of talking up the parallels between these two guys and sort of the politics and the affairs in place with Keno's match going on second main event, not last, just like Naito's was, and his debacles at Wrestle Kingdom and all that stuff. And then they talk about the contrast of Naito being a New Japan boy and saying New Japan wrestling is pro wrestling, and Keno's been more of a freelancer. He's been around and he wears that with a badge of honor, and he kind of, but both men are, what's best for Naito is best for New Japan is best for wrestling. What's best for Keno is best for wrestling, right? So they do a good job talking up these guys' narratives and their backgrounds. This match, before we talk it through a little more, wasn't bad. It's not the best match on the night because it was bad or underwhelming. But I just feel as though Naito and Keno might be a little awkward in there. And this was fun. I had fun. I think at some point, though, you start to feel a lot of sympathy for Keno and a bit of empathy for Keno because of the nature of this. Naito gets so ahead in the match, and the crowd's so far on Naito's side, and it just feels like an overwhelming force for Keno, and ultimately it is an overwhelming force because Naito wins. And I feel like that Keno never feels as dastardly like this is deserved. You think of other heels like maybe an MJF or maybe a Brock Lesnar. This never feels as deserved for Keno, where you kind of might be citing Naito, but for Keno to be this disabled and disadvantaged here, you kind of like to see him cheat. You kind of like to see him grab that. But Keno just kind of seems like a little brother in all of this, more than a dastardly villain. And I think it creates some sympathy for Keno. And then noticing that the next event at Noah, Tetsuya Naito's wrestling Keiji Muto for the retirement match. And Keno is working a 6-man tag with Kongo. So, really, there's no marky feel. There's no bad decision. I'm not going to say it was the wrong decision to book or anything weird like that. I'm really not going to get into that at all because I don't think that's the point. The point here is, though, is that the presentation feels a little off, wherein Naito's always supposed to be kind of the underdog, but Naito kind of walked in here like Okada. Naito kind of walked in here like the man. And it just seemed a little funky, and I think they played to that a bit, but Keno never nearly gets underhanded enough to where it feels like, yes, Naito's back in the match. Naito's going to win. Naito, the crowd's behind him. It feels overwhelming. Keno feels like the small dog in this one. And I don't think Naito ever wrestles dominant enough to where this gets kind of interesting or spectacle. And I think that kind of damages what these guys do a bit and the narrative that they tell. At least for my 2 cents. Also that this match runs. And I wish it ran a little bit more. But we'll get into that. We'll talk this through. So the entrances are long. Keno, again, I say cosplaying as Tanahashi. He's coming out with the jacket. He's doing his poses. Keno not really receiving that reception from the crowd tonight. It's a big New Japan Pro crowd. They were booing Noah guys earlier. They booed the Noah guys in the first prelim match. So it's very pro New Japan. Carlton and Kevin Kelly remark on this as well about Yokohama being a bit of a neutral site. Some sports talk for you fans out there. And that didn't seem the case. It seemed like the crowd very much was pro New Japan here. Naito's coming out, and he takes a very, very long time for his entrance because, of course, it's Naito. And he looks beautiful, by the way. The suit and the cape, very pretty. Keno is pissed. Keno is, there's no better way to put it. Keno is mad. He's livid. And he's holding the ring open, and he's like, come on, let's go. And Naito is is you could tell he's trying not to really look at Keno, but he's aware of Keno being mad. But Naito's not even like giving a shy smirk. It almost feels like he's trying not to laugh because he knows he's getting a rise out of Keno. And I think that, it's not even like Naito's like, yeah, I'm happy this is working. It's more like it's like, damn, he's why is he so mad? So it's definitely a different feel, but they work this one. They're going to holds. Keno does a great job of mocking Naito's taunt the whole way through, holding both of his eyes open, doing that right to Naito's face. The big kind of limb body work here is the midsection of Naito. Keno, fairly early in the match, will take Naito out of the ring and throw him through the guardrail. And it gets like an 18 count where Naito now is selling his ribs pretty early. And then we have things like the double stomp that Keno will do, and he'll do some other really, really nasty stuff. Oh, another shout out. Nakajima soccer kicks the fuck out of Takagi. It's nasty. It looks nasty as shit. Takagi's sitting on his side, opened up, and Nakajima just fucking punts him. It's disgusting. But anyway, Naito and Keno are working over here. A decent match. The first 10 minutes, I'd say, is probably 80-20 Keno, maybe 70-30. And then Naito comes alive, and Naito works the next 5 minutes, gets a lot of offense in. And then they swap it again, but it's 20 minutes in, and Keno's gotten his offense in again, but it never really, again, the foundation of the match, how the match is laid out, it never really feels like we're building to something too crazy, and it just kind of stills a bit. We see some big moves, see some near fall, saw a really good superplex, like a picture perfect superplex. Keno gets hit with the Frankensteiner from the top rope as well. Very, very pretty Frankensteiner. Very, very well done. Working towards the end of this one, Naito hits a Destino. It's a 2. It's not really like a full Destino either. And he's working those elbows. And if you've seen a Naito match before, it's where he kind of arm ringers the opponent. So he kind of, goes up and under the arm and has it stretched. He's outstretched. It's not a hammer lock. He's not behind him, but he's holding the wrist at bay. And he brings in his opponent and he elbows him to the neck, right? Kind of softens him up. This made famous in the Okada series matches, and this is very poignant. You can, if you're anything like me at least, you can see when he does this, you see the Okada match in 2018, the one he wins at Wrestle Kingdom. But I guess maybe that's 2019. I'm mixing up my years. It doesn't matter. But Naito's doing that. We get to do that a few times, especially later in the match, and it kind of spells doom for you at Sacrifice. And I don't know. I mean, it never really picks up. Keno hits a big move, hits a dragon suplex at one point, hits his double stomp a second time, but never really feels like Naito's in danger. And then when it does get really exciting is when we hear the 25-minute call. And it's, to this point, it's 2-2 for Congo versus LIJ. And it's exciting. They're going to work to the draw. They could work that and get to that. And that could really ramp up the last 5 minutes of this and really get exciting and really kind of pull this match into its own to kind of to wrap it up and kind of give this match a really exciting finish and sprint to a finish. And this card's done finishes great. All card long. If you want to look back at the finishes, I mean, the first prelim match ends in a Boston Crab submission, and then the second match they tease a Boston Crab submission, but it doesn't end in a Boston Crab submission, it ends in a different submission. Great shit. The Desperado Ryohei finish is excellently done. The Tadasuke Bushi finish with the mist and then the roll up for Tadasuke is very well done. Sonata's finish with Soya was incredibly exciting and worthy of the near falls they drew. Takahashi dumping Ohara violently as he's trying to struggle out of the time bomb, done perfectly. The subversion of storytelling with Okada and Kaito Kiyomiya, very, very great. And those finishes all throughout the card, fucking great. The Desperado Ryohei one. Desperado's got Ryohei in a submission forever, and Ryohei is begging. And then finally, Desperado gets both arms, and he's got the stretch muffler, and it's Goodnight Irene, and it's done so well. But the Naito Kenoh match just never kind of gets those highs, and you never really feel that excited at the end of it. And again, at one point, it's the end of the match, and Kenoh is down on the floor, and Naito's sizing him up, and the crowd is chanting Naito, Naito, Naito. And they're just, it just feels overwhelming. It feels like a waterfall. It feels like Kenoh is drowning out here. But they don't work a match like that. They kind of don't. And Kenoh never feels, like, again, like I said, deserving of this kind of outpour. So you just kind of have some sympathy for Kenoh, in my opinion. But maybe, again, I'm not working with enough context. I'm not working with enough background. I'm thinking of this match too often in a vacuum. So maybe that's a bit on me. This is a fun match. Very, very enjoyable. Both guys get their shit in. Both guys work really well. Goes a little long, but I mean, again, like I said, nothing overstays its welcome. This isn't boring. I'm not bored by this. Kenoh and Naito blister each other. Naito and Kenoh later in the match are both down. They're crawling, and they're crawling to their feet where they're butting heads and getting up to do more of the strong style spot where they trade and exchange blows. And I think that's still 18 minutes in. We're not even close to the finish. It's past the Takagi Nakajima fight, but we're not at the end of the match. So they get a lot of stuff in. They get a lot of good shit in, and not a lot of spectacle in a main event like this, but a lot of solid basics. And it didn't hit the high for Takagi Nakajima like it did for me, but nothing bad here by far. Very fucking fun match. Very enjoyable. Great stuff all around. Naito wins. Naito wins with the second Destino, or as Kevin Kelly will have you believe, Destino. So that was the win. And then the biggest news, I think, I guess maybe the Okada Kaito match shenanigans, but the biggest news, in my opinion, was the aftermath of this. Naito does a roll call, and Keiji Muto takes the ring, and Muto signals for him to come back, and holy shit, Keiji Muto says he wants Naito to be his last opponent, and Naito's at the ramp, and Naito turns around, and he just gives a face like, motherfucker, what? Oh my goodness. Naito just shoots a look like he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean I'm your opponent? What the fuck? What's going on? I just wrestled. I'm tired. What the hell's happening? It's going home. Yeah, we get Keiji Muto getting retired out by Naito, it looks. February 21st. I will be watching. There will be a review. Hopefully I can catch that live. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I wish I would have been able to catch this live. I will be catching Royal Rumble live, and that video will probably be up Sunday. Yeah, no, I'm fucking lying. NFL playoffs are Sunday. That video will probably be up Monday. I'll try to get that out pretty quickly. But Muto, Naito, Okada, Kaito is already a reason to watch that card. If you don't really care for the rest of the card, whatever. We're also getting Takahashi Amakisa, so that should be incredible. I think those three matches alone are going to be really, really good. This has card of the year potential on those three alone. So yeah, that was night two. That was night two of Wrestle Kingdom on January 21st in Yokohama. Noah versus New Japan. Very, very fun. Very, very enjoyable event. I'm a bit of a New Japan boy, I would say, and acknowledge that. So nothing here was bad, and I appreciated this a lot more than night one with the ladies match, which I enjoy both Tam Nakano and Kairi Hojo, but this was just shit and didn't even get time. And then the junior tag match, which was really bad, and then the Carl Anderson and good gracious, why can I not remember? I'm such a Tama Tonga. My God, God baby. It's been a long week, man. It feels like ages ago I was mixing up Don West and Don Callis because I'm also a tremendous idiot. But yeah, this was a very enjoyable event, and I appreciated this a lot more than night one, I will say. Even though night one had bigger highs, I think both the Omega Ospreay and Okada White matches were better than anything on this card, but I don't think there was anything on that card outside of those two matches that were better than Takagi Nakajima, Soya Sanada, Naito Kenoh. So take that for what you will. Moving into new beginnings for New Japan, I believe as I'm talking this up, they're already on a road to. Let me see the New Japan schedule so I can kind of keep up with that a little bit more here through the podcast. Again, if anybody's watching these but doesn't necessarily watch New Japan, which that makes sense, right? I mean, there's a lot of wrestling on. We don't always catch all of it, and you know, that'll be the sort of way the news goes. Good gracious, that's gonna age poorly, and by age poorly I mean it already has. I don't know why that came into my head. Hilarious. Unfortunate, really just unfortunate more than anything. Let's see. Yeah, do we not have a big? No. We do. New beginning in Sapporo. Let me see. New Japan, Tamashi. I think this is just kind of. Yeah. No. That's in the. That's out in Australia. New Japan in Sapporo. Saturday, February 4th. It's coming up this weekend. Yep. Oskar Leube versus Okan is the opener. That's great. Yes, this is your Shota Umino Tetsuya Naito in the main event. We have Ospreay and Taichi as well. And then the junior heavyweight tags are up. So that's actually this coming weekend. So that'll be next weekend on the 4th. New beginning in Sapporo. And then New Beginnings Sunday event on the 5th will be Yo and Takahashi for the junior title. It'll be the first title defense. Zack Sabre Jr. defends the World TV title against Tomohiro Ishii. So some good stuff here in New Beginnings. If you're more interested in those, I won't be reviewing New Beginnings. They are not as important events, just going to be honest with the matches that are on. Doesn't mean they're not exciting or fun to watch, but I very well will probably ease up on those New Beginning events. New Beginning in Osaka's are going to be your big time matches, right? That's Okada and Takagi. It's where Takagi made the challenge for. So the Osaka match is a bit bigger. Your co-main is Tonga and Phantasmo, and of course Jay White in A Loser Leaves. That's on the next weekend, February 11th. So that's a bigger card for sure, but still might not review it. I think that it's good to maybe keep an eye and watch those, and I will watch those. But with the big time event coming, I mean, we have a huge event coming up soon. on the 21st. So that'll be big. That'll be very big. We have Battle of the Valley. That's Kyrie, Hojo, and Mercedes Moné, or former Sasha Banks. But yeah. And we'll have a world title match there as well. I believe I was right in saying it is 221, correct? Hold on. Do we have... I thought we had a date for... Yes. Oh, it's 3-2. No. I'm stupid. No, it's February. It's Last Love. That might not be a... I was on the schedule for NJPW. But it's a Noah event. Understood. It makes sense. It's a Noah event. 221 at the Tokyo Dome. So, or at Tokyo Dome. Sorry, not the Tokyo Dome. My apologies. So, Tokyo Dome on the 21st. So, Noah event explains why it's not on the New Japan schedule. Of course. But nice. Well, that'll be it. I hope everything's been going well. I've been busy over here in Scuff Stuff Land. We've been streaming a bit too. I had to put that on delay, but we're still trying to catch a lot of this wrestling. I will probably see you guys again. Well, I'll see you guys again in Royal Rumble. We'll get that video up, but then I will see you all next time. After that, we'll see what we want to put up or want to do. We will most likely be reviewing Last Love as well, so that'll come up on the podcast. And yeah, that's about it. Everything's been chill, been a little weird, been a little busy, been a little weird busy, but life's been good. Sleep's been kind of crap this past week. It's been really weird. I've been up at weird times, very weird times. My sleep schedule's been very bad, but besides that, everything's pretty chill. Little weird times right now for sure to open up the year, but the wrestling's been great, and I hope you all have been great too. So again, that's been me, Scuffed, and we're off to Last Love in 221 and New Beginnings next weekend in Sapporo, and then Osaka the weekend after for the Okada Shingo Takagi match. Again, I won't get reviews on those. If you want some commentary on events I'm not reviewing, you can check my Twitter. I have a Scuff Stuff Twitter. We're going to shit post on that a little bit more, I feel. And definitely feel free to follow there. Give a follow there. If you want some insight on the New Beginnings shows, I will shit post my thoughts there. 1,000,000% for sure. That's kind of the plan with the Twitters, to be a little more active on there, and bullshit. I think I put out a tweet about Vern Gagne and Carl Gotch. So if you're interested at all, it won't just be update spam about my Twitch live streaming, but it'll be that a good bit, I'm sure. But yeah, you can follow over there. It's in my YouTube channel link. So, but that's the plug. But we will see you for Royal Rumble. How do we feel about Royal Rumble? I'm so bad at ending conversations. You hang up. No, you hang up. I don't know how I feel about Royal Rumble. I don't know what the match order is. I saw from WWE.com actually that the final match of the night is the pitch. God fucking Christ, why is it called? I'm gonna say the full name of the match if you don't know. The Mountain Dew Pitch Black match between Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. Don't know why the fuck it's called that, but dear God, that is horrible. But that's literally what the match is called. It's not called the Spooky Bray Wyatt match. It's called the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. And everyone agrees it's stupid, but money. Counterpoint. So, yeah, that'll be there. But what I'm saying here before, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but the match card said that was going on last, and the first two matches are I think it's opening with the men's world, Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, and then it's a Royal Rumble, then it's the women's world title, then it's the women's Rumble, then it's the Pitch Black match. That was the match card WWE gave me. Very interesting to have the women's Rumble and then the Pitch Black match end. So we'll see. But it'll be what it is. I'm not looking forward to the Bianca Belair Bliss match. It'll probably be bad. That'll probably be really bad, to be honest. Owens and Reigns should be fun. They already had a Rumble match that was delightful. I enjoyed Reigns' Rollins match last year at Rumble. I like Reigns. I like Reigns a lot. I think he's solid. I think he's really solid. And Rumble matches are fun. Royal Rumble's my favorite pay-per-view. Royal Rumble's my favorite WWE thing. WWE IP. War Games is pretty good. Not gonna lie, War Games is really good. I think the NXT War Games get a little stupid, and I like the old school War Games a little bit more. But it's still a great IP. It's a great gimmick match. It's incredible. Elimination Chamber, really good. Oh man, WWE's got those. It's like the Nintendo Switch. Like the console sucks, but the IPs are great. But even the IPs kind of suck. Like everybody kind of agrees Pokemon's like a little bit shitty, but I love it, so I play it. It's man, we'll have one podcast episode where we give all of our thoughts about the WWE. Maybe that's the Royal Rumble episode. Who fucking knows? Hopefully it's not bad enough that I feel like I have to bitch about it, and I don't want to. And I hate, if you watch these New Japan reviews, I'm all positive and flowy, and then you're gonna see WWE review, and I might feel it. I might shit on it. I really might. I really hope I don't. I don't want to watch things I don't like. That's why I don't watch WWE or AEW. I don't watch shit I don't like. Why? People that watch wrestling just so they can go on Twitter and say it sucks is baffling to me. I don't get why. Like I'll watch Royal Rumble because I want to see the Rumble match, and I'll watch Mania because WrestleMania is the biggest wrestling event, period. So like, yeah, but typically don't just watch wrestling I don't want to. So we'll see, man. We're gonna review the Royal Rumble. It's tonight. I'm very tired. Probably gonna just I'm gonna watch the Royal Rumble sleep deprived. But we'll be excited for it. We'll be excited for it for sure. It can't be bad, right? It can't be that bad. It can't be. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. I've been watching all this dope wrestling. I've been enjoying everything. I've been so happy. I'm gonna watch the Rumble and like vomit. We'll see, man. We'll see. It can't be terrible, right? But that Bianca Belair Alexa Bliss match is gonna be so bad, man. And this Pitch Black match is gonna be bad. Holy shit. Oh my god. Well, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, guys. This has been Scuffed. I'll catch you next time with the Royal Rumble review. Follow my Twitter if you want any updates on some of the intermediate wrestling thoughts or talk or some of the New Japan stuff as well. We will then meet you probably at the Naito Muto Noah event. That'll probably be the last thing. And if for anybody interested, I did not see Wrestle Universe at all. I did not see Muda's. Again, I've been so busy and I'm not as plugged into Noah, so I actually lost track of the date. I knew the date and then missed it, and because I forgot the date, and then I was like, oh shit, it happened. So that's it's like the best summation of my brain. So yeah, it's unfortunate I missed that. But we'll go back and watch that, and I won't review it at all, but it'll be fine. Night 2 was dope. But that's been Scuffed, guys. Sorry about this. Enjoy, and go watch some dope ass wrestling if you can, man. There's so much around, and there's a lot of wrestling that's worth your time. This event was. But yep, enjoy your day. Bye bye.